Hello, my name is David Faure and I work for KDAB. I am the author and maintainer of the KDSoap library, and in this video I would like to show you how to use KDSoap to make calls to a SOAP server without blocking the user interface. In this program here, if we use the previous synchronous calls solution, then we don't see progress happening, while when we do asynchronous calls, we can see the results come in as the server sends them to us. And you can also see this animation here to show the user that something is happening. All of this proving that the user interface keeps being responsive while the operations happen. So how do we do this in code? If we look at the asynchronous calls method, the one that's called by that button, what we'll do here is, clear the results and then create the first job. So this uses a job class that is generated by KDSoap for us. And for every operation that we want to do, we create an instance of that job. We set the bank code as parameter, start the job, and the important thing is now we simply return to the event loop. We connect to a finished signal, and all of this happens quite quickly. Start it, connect, and then we are done. The slot returns, and then we go back to the event loop. Later on, once the answer is available, the finished signal will be emitted, and we go into that code here where we do some error handling. And then in the done method, we can say, show the result. And if we have more things to do, then create the next job. And this is how we make the requests one after the other once we get the results. And because we don't do anything that is blocking here, the user interface keeps being responsive. Interestingly, we can make this even better by sending all of those requests in parallel. Let's change that. You saw the ifdefs. If I change the define to 1 and start the application again, now when I click the async calls button, you can see that the results come in much faster. The reason why this is much faster is we use QNetwork Access Manager behind the scenes in KDSoap. And Network Access Manager actually supports running multiple queries to the same HTTP server from different threads. It will open a number of sockets, I think it's 6. So it will open 6 sockets and deal with them in parallel, and that makes everything much faster. Right, so you saw that we do all of this with code that is generated by KDSoap. So actually, if we want to take a quick look at it, the job class is generated in this file, the wsdl_service.h file generated by KDSoap. That's the job we can create and connect to, and the base class is provided by KDSoap. Obviously, it has only a few things like checking whether the communication worked, getting the reply without any decoding, and so on. What's more interesting is obviously the generated code, because there we have the actual classes, the types that are defined in the WSDL, input and output, and this is how we can use this job. For more details on the job pattern, I actually recorded a video on that pattern specifically, so you can look at that video to get more information about the job pattern in general. KDSoap is just one of the users of that pattern. So it was quite easy to use KDSoap in order to make calls to a SOAP server without blocking the user interface. Just have to create jobs, connect to them instead of making blocking calls. Right, in the next video, I will show you how to write a SOAP server instead of just connecting to an existing server, depending on what you need to do. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them under the video.